Have you ever looked at a hatchback and thought, you know what this needs is massive carbon fiber over fenders and a rear wing that looks like it was taken off a Boeing 747? Yeah, no, neither have I. But when I saw it, I was all in. Let's take a look at the Mini GP3. That decided practicality was holding it back and said goodbye to the rear seats so it could use that weight elsewhere, like its ludicrous rear wing and extremely unique over fenders. So let's take it for a drive and see what it's like driving arguably the most performance-focused Mini ever made. Let's start by looking at the outside. This car is a neck snapper. There are very few other hatchbacks that have the level of presence on the road that this does. At the front, we have the iconic Mini circle headlights looking as good as ever. A hood scoop that, unfortunately, is sealed, unlike the cool little lower side vents. Then we start to see the beginning of a red theme, with this bright red splitter, bumper accents, and the GP logo. Then on the side, we see the red theme continue with the red stripes at the bottom of the doors and the bright red brakes. An interesting touch I like is the mirror and roof painted in silver, contrasting on the body's titanium blue. Then we start to see the beginnings of what makes this car so different. These carbon fiber fender flares, made from the offcuts of BMW i8s and i3s. I don't even know what to compare them to. I suppose that it is almost reminiscent of non-open wheel race cars. These cars aren't just limited, but also numbered, as you can see on the front fender. The wheels are interesting, and I feel they suit the car well. The center caps are, again, branded with the GP logo. As we move to the back, we see the iconic Mini Union Jack taillights, which I always love. An awesome rear splitter paired with a clean center exit dual exhaust, a black Mini badge, and another red GP logo. But then there's the elephant in the room, the massive red rear wing, which just gives this car such a distinct look. I must say, however, atop the massive wing is two rubber ramps, suggesting that the original wing didn't actually provide that much downforce. But what do you think of the looks of this car? I must confess, I personally have always loved the look of Minis. I know that a lot of people think they're maybe too cutesy with their little bubble eyes and their Union Jack tail lights and things like that, but I have always really liked them. I think they're just cute and bubbly and they don't take themselves too seriously, and this car is a prime example of not taking itself too seriously because it is ridiculous in a great way. It stands out on the street, it's got great presence, and like I said, I think it might stand out just as much as a supercar. It's a fantastically designed car in my opinion, and I'm really curious to hear what you guys think of it. So, hot hatches. Small, lightweight, perfect for city driving. And this car is small, this car is lightweight, weighing in at only 1,200 kilos. But to call it a hot hatch seems like a bit of an understatement. Other hot hatches have, room for 4 or 5 people, even 4 or 5 adults. This has room for 2. Other hot hatches have fairly tame styling that mostly other car people are gonna notice. This car, I feel like everybody will notice. With its crazy over fenders, its massive rear wing, it really looks like a race car on the street. And I think this car kind of would stand out almost as much as an exotic supercar. But one place where this car does beat out other hot hatches is the size of the boot. You could store so much in there. Unfortunately, that is achieved by getting rid of the rear seats and replacing them with what is effectively a luggage bar, but looks more like a strut bar. This car is not designed for the normal hatchback driver. It's definitely designed for someone that's more looking to learn their car as they drive it, more looking for their car to be part of the ride with them. They want to learn the personality of their car. They want to figure out how it drives. And this car is great for that. It's got personality. A lot more than most other hot hatches. I love hot hatches, but I think this one's just fantastic. The gauge cluster is simple and interesting. It's just a floating screen with sporty red accents all over. Then we have the wheel, leather with red stitching and some simple buttons. But the best part is these gorgeous metal flappy pedals at the back. They feel premium, tactile, and interesting. As we move to the infotainment, we see an LED ring around the screen that works like a tachometer with the lights moving with the revs. The infotainment itself has a simple and fun design, and with Android Auto and CarPlay, you never feel like there's anything missing. Next to the screen, you'll find a special piece telling you which number GP3 you're in. For us, it's 406. The seats are sporty and hug you well, but they aren't the most comfortable. Alright, we are going to launch it and see how it goes. See how it feels at full throttle, and we're also going to time how long it takes to get from 0 to 100, and I'll tell you how long it takes. I feel like I should probably have both hands on the wheel, because I've heard this thing talks stairs like a motherfucker. Let's just see what happens. Okay, it took 5.72 seconds. 5.72 seconds to get from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour. To get to 60, it took 2.9 seconds. So in your like basic daily driving, for your basic daily driving, if you were, to launch it, it would take about 3 seconds for you to get up to like speed in the city. But honestly, like, I think this car would be pretty shitty in the city. Like, this car is not built for the city. It's definitely built for like carving up mountain roads and stuff. It would be pretty fucking awful in the city, in all honesty. I hate the indicators. It's got those like BMW indicators. Let me show you what happens. So the way you indicate in this is you push this up, but it doesn't stay up. And the way that you stop it from indicating is you have to push it down, which is dumb, because if you push it too hard, you start indicating the other way. It's like, it's really annoying. I don't like it. Obviously, if you turn like a lot, then it's going to turn the indicator off for you, but it doesn't do that right away, which I think, like if you do like a subtle left turn or something, it doesn't turn it off for you, and it's very annoying. But yeah, there is the time. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. This car is fucking fast. It feels great. So, what are my final thoughts? Well, this car is not for everyday driving, and not for the everyday driver. Driving it for an extended period feels like a workout for your body and your mind. Having both hands on the wheel at all times is pretty much essential, because the 300 brake horsepower blasting through the front wheels can make it a little unpredictable. The suspension is hard and fun for spirited driving, but gets a little tiresome on crappy everyday roads. The brakes are very sensitive at low speeds, as well as the throttle, making any low-speed driving a bit of a chore, even more so than in a standard car. Lastly, I just think the car belongs in the hands of a very confident and skilled driver. In my hands, it just feels like I'm holding it back. I do really like this car, don't get me wrong. I think the styling is fantastic, and I think it's awesome that Mini was able to be bold enough to create something so wild looking. And I think that for the right person, it's a great car. I think even for me, I would love it if it wasn't my primary car. But as a daily, it's just not that good. And unfortunately, I think even for that performance seeker, it has the wrong gearbox. I think this car with a nice fast twin clutch gearbox would be crazy. But unfortunately, it just doesn't have it. So overall, I would say this car is just decent. It's fun, it's cool, but it's not for me. And that's a shame. I was really hoping it would be. Let me know in the comments if you would buy this, if you would take this crazy car, and let me know what car you want me to drive next. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.